everybody, my name is George, also known as The Drivers, and today I'm going to be helping people out in pools, and fantasy pools or normal football pools. Anyways, I'm going to be doing this throughout the whole year, every week. So first to start off, we have Carolina versus New York Giants. The Carolina rushing attack is very prolific with the two-back system that they run with DeAngelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. They are two top 15 backs, so that's very good. The Giants do not have an amazing rush defense. Stats shown that they allowed around 90 rushing yards per game last year. But I do think that the Giants will win the game because of the quarterback situation in Carolina. Anyways, Atlanta versus Pittsburgh. I think Atlanta is going to win for obvious reasons such as Matt Ryan, Michael Turner, Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez. And I think that Pittsburgh's going to lose because they're starting Dixon as a quarterback. Their only offensive wide receiver that is actually a threat is Hines Ward. And their defense is, well, it's the Steelers' defense. It's pretty good, but without the offense, can't do much. Anyways, next game, Cleveland at Tampa Bay. This is a pretty useless game. I just think Tampa Bay is going to win because Gerald McCoy is going to provide an impact into stopping Jerome Harrison. So Denver at Jacksonville, another useless game, but I think that Jacksonville will win the game because Maurice Jones-Drew. He will have a field day on the Denver Broncos because the Denver Broncos do not have a good rushing defense. They were in the worst rushing defenses last year. Indianapolis versus Houston. Well, what I think that's going to happen here is that Indianapolis will come back late in the game and win the game because of Peyton Manning, Dallas Clark, and their new wide receiver core, which is healthy with Anthony Gonzalez. Even though that many people might think that Houston's up for a due date because of the 1-15 record that they have against the Colts, I don't believe that, and I actually think that they're going to go 1-16. Next game, Miami versus Buffalo. I think that Miami's going to beat Buffalo, but it's going to be a very tight game considering it's a divisional game, and the Buffalo has new rookie running back CJ Spiller. During the preseason, they look very good. Next game is Detroit versus Chicago. Here's an interesting matchup because you don't know if Jay Cutler and the wide receiving core in Chicago could fulfill Mike Martz's needs because Mike Martz is a pass first offense, and with Jay Cutler last year with the 26 interceptions, it doesn't look like it's gonna end up being good. They have Chicago favored as a 7-point favorite. I don't know if they're gonna cover it or not, but my gut is telling me that they are going to cover it because last year Jay Cutler always had field days on the Detroit Lions secondary, and I don't think that the Detroit Lions did any significant move to make their secondary any better during the offseason. Oakland and Tennessee. From what I see here is that Chris Johnson is going to have an amazing day versus Oakland, but I won't say that Oakland will have a terrible game. They do indeed have Michael Bush and Justin McFargus, which is also like two-back running back system in Carolina, except that the two backs aren't amazing. Yeah, Tennessee's gonna win this by a spread of 7 for sure. Cincinnati versus New England. Here, Tom Brady just signed a new contract, making him the highest-paid player in NFL history. I think that New England is obviously gonna win. There's going to be a bit of a fuss of Terrell Owens and Chad Ochocinco because, as many of you may know, that Terrell Owens will only get bonuses if he gets a certain amount of catches and yards. So that's a game to watch. Arizona versus St. Louis. Here's a game that you don't really know what's going to happen. Arizona has no quarterback, but yet they have an amazing wide receiver core, and St. Louis looked like they were doing very well with Sam Bradford in the preseason. But the preseason means nothing. Here I would actually try to go with St. Louis because Sam Bradford looks like he's going to be a good quarterback, from what I could tell. They have Steven Jackson. Hopefully they'll be able to give him the ball more often in the red zone so he could score touchdowns. San Francisco versus Seattle. This is a no doubt San Francisco game. Frank Gore, Alex Smith, they're just gonna destroy the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think that the Seattle Seahawks will have any chance versus San Francisco. I actually think that San Francisco might be a contender this year. They have a very strong defense with Patrick Willis and all. Green Bay at Philly. This is an interesting game, but I think that Green Bay will win because Green Bay has that extra something. They have the quarterback, they have a workhorse, they have everything. And Kevin Kolb is questionable with the Philadelphia Eagles. Dallas at Washington. This is going to be a Dallas game because I don't think that Washington did anything to improve. Yes, they added Donovan McNabb, but who are their wide receivers? They have nobody. That's what I'm getting to. Baltimore versus New York Jets. Very tight matchup, defensive matchup. I did pick the Jets to win, but I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. But what I do know is that this is definitely a game worth to watch. And San Diego versus Kansas City, just to wrap it up. Well, as many of you may know, this isn't gonna be a stupid pick. I predict San Diego to win. Alright guys,